The federal government just admitted they were wrong. For over 50 years, under United States federal law, marijuana was classified as a Schedule I drug. By legal definition, that meant the government claimed it had no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse, placing it in the same legal category as heroin. But that era has officially ended. On December 18, 2025, the President of the United States signed a historic executive order. This order explicitly directs the Attorney General to expedite and complete the process of reclassifying marijuana from Schedule I to Schedule III. This is not just a political headline. It is a scientific revolution, but it leaves us with massive questions. If this is now medicine, how does it actually work? In the next few minutes, we are going to answer that question with a forensic deep dive. We are going to uncover the secret patent the government held on cannabis while telling you it was dangerous. We are going to visualize retrograde signaling, the unique way cannabis molecules move backward through your brain to shut down pain. We will look at the new Johns Hopkins study that finally explains how to use terpenes to turn off the anxiety and paranoia associated with THC. And we will show you the opioid sparing effect, the data that proves how this plant is getting people off of dangerous painkillers. But because we are discussing actual medical treatments, dosages, and rapidly changing federal laws, we must pause for a critical legal and medical disclaimer to ensure we are all on the same page. Please listen closely. This video is strictly for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing you hear today constitutes medical advice, a diagnosis, or a treatment plan. Furthermore, while federal laws are changing, local laws vary wildly. What is legal in one state or country may still be a serious crime in another. This video is not giving you permission to break the law, nor is it advocating for the recreational use of controlled substances. You must always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any decisions regarding your health or medication. Do not take your health into your own hands based on a YouTube video. Always follow the specific laws of your local jurisdiction. We are here to explore the science, not to encourage illegal activity. With that established, let's begin with the massive contradiction that existed before this executive order. Did you know that for the last 20 years, while the DEA was calling cannabis a drug with no medical use, the Department of Health and Human Services actually held a patent on it? It is true. If you search the U.S. Patent Office, you will find a government-held patent titled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants. Think about that. The same government arresting people for using the plant was simultaneously patenting its ability to protect the human brain from stroke and trauma. It was a paradox caused by politics. But now that the politics are out of the way, we can finally focus on the hardware that makes that neuroprotection possible. To understand the medicine, you first have to understand the machine, your body. In the 1990s, researchers made a discovery that changed our understanding of human biology. They found that your body is wired with a massive network of receptors specifically designed to receive cannabis-like molecules. They called it the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. According to a comprehensive review in the journal Pharmacological Reviews, the ECS is essentially the master dimmer switch of the human body. Its biological goal is homeostasis, balance. When your neurons fire too fast, causing pain or anxiety, the ECS is the system that tells them to cool down. It uses a molecule your body creates naturally called anandamide, named after the Sanskrit word for bliss. Here is the mechanism that makes this unique. In the rest of your brain, signals travel forward from the sender neuron to the receiver neuron. But research published in the journal Nature revealed that endocannabinoids break the rules. They travel backward. This is called retrograde signaling. Think of it like a classroom. The sender neuron is a teacher who is yelling too loudly. In a normal nervous system, the students just have to sit there and take the noise. But in the endocannabinoid system, the students can pass a note back to the teacher that says, "Quiet down." When you consume marijuana, the THC molecule hijacks this system. It mimics your body's own natural quiet down signals. It locks onto the CB1 receptors in your brain and spine, chemically closing calcium channels and stopping the transmission of pain and stress signals. That isn't magic, that is mechanics. Now let's look at the evidence that likely informed the president's decision. We categorize this into tiers. Tier 1 is the gold standard, FDA approval. The most famous case study in the history of this field is Charlotte Figi. Charlotte was a child with Dravet syndrome, a rare genetic defect. By age 5, she was suffering 300 grand mal seizures a week. Her heart had stopped multiple times. Her doctors had run out of options, and her parents had signed a "do not resuscitate" order. In a desperate move, her mother treated her with a thick black oil extracted from a high CBD cannabis plant. The results were documented in medical literature. Her seizures dropped from 300 a week to 0 in 7 days. For years, skeptics called this an anecdote. But in 2017, the New England Journal of Medicine published a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, the highest standard of scientific proof. They found that purified CBD significantly reduced seizure frequency in patients with Dravet syndrome compared to placebo. Biologists have since mapped the exact mechanism. In these specific brains, a molecule called LPI gets hijacked and creates a seizure loop. CBD steps in and blocks a specific receptor called GPR55, effectively cutting the power cord to the seizure. This research led directly to the FDA approval of Epidiolex, the first cannabis-derived medicine in U.S. history. This is no longer a debate, it is a prescribed fact. Moving to Tier 2, we tackle the most common reason for prescriptions: chronic pain. In 2017, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine released a massive report analyzing over 10,000 scientific abstracts. Their conclusion was explicit. They stated there is substantial evidence that cannabis is effective for chronic pain in adults. However, we need to clarify how it helps. It is not like Novocaine. Patients often report a phenomenon called dissociation. It's not that the pain receptors are fully numbed, it's that the emotional connection to the pain is severed. The pain is there, but it doesn't bother you as much. The most critical data point here comes from the Journal of Pain. In a study from the University of Michigan, researchers found a 64% drop in opioid use among chronic pain patients who started using medical cannabis. This is the opioid sparing effect. In the middle of an opioid epidemic that kills tens of thousands of people a year, having a Schedule III alternative to lower the dosage of highly addictive Schedule II painkillers is a public health breakthrough. We also see undeniable efficacy in cancer treatment. Chemotherapy-induced nausea is often resistant to standard drugs because it triggers a deep, primitive part of the brain called the dorsal vagal complex. According to the National Cancer Institute, THC is particularly effective here because there is a high density of CB1 receptors in the brain's vomit control center. By activating these receptors, THC acts as a neurological brake, stopping the nausea signal at the source. This is why the FDA has approved synthetic THC drugs like dronabinol for decades. This brings us to a major scientific debate: the entourage effect. Pharmaceutical companies want to isolate the single active molecule, just the THC or just the CBD, but data suggests the plant might do it better. This is the theory that the drug works best when all its parts are used together, specifically the terpenes, the aromatic oils that give the plant its smell. For years this was just a theory, but in 2024, researchers at Johns Hopkins Medicine published a study that cracked the code. They found that a terpene called D-limonene, which smells like citrus, significantly reduced the anxiety and paranoia that pure THC can cause. When test subjects took pure THC, many felt anxious. But when they added limonene, the anxiety vanished while the medicinal effects remained. The science suggests that the whole plant cocktail is indeed a more sophisticated medicine than the isolated drug. However, an educational deep dive is worthless if it doesn't cover the risks. With the move to Schedule III making access easier, we must be even more vigilant about safety. The most serious warning comes from the Lancet Psychiatry. A major study across Europe found that daily use of high-potency THC is linked to a significant increase in the risk of developing psychosis, specifically in young men. If you have a genetic predisposition or a family history of schizophrenia, the data is clear. Medical marijuana can trigger a latent condition. It is not safe for everyone. Warning number 2 concerns the heart and liver. A study from Penn State College of Medicine highlighted that CBD interacts with the liver enzymes known as CYP450. These are the exact same enzymes that process blood thinners like warfarin. Here is the danger. If you take CBD and heart medication at the same time, the CBD distracts the liver. This causes the heart medication to build up in your bloodstream to toxic levels, which can lead to dangerous internal bleeding. Natural does not mean safe to mix with everything. And finally, we have to talk about cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, CHS. This is a paradoxical condition where long-term, heavy users develop severe, uncontrollable vomiting, caused by the very drug that is supposed to cure nausea. It is rare, but emergency room visits for CHS are rising, and the only cure is cessation. So, where does that leave us? The executive order signed on December 18th is more than just a legal change. It is a scientific vindication. Medical marijuana is a sophisticated biological tool. It is not a miracle cure for everything. It won't fix a broken bone or cure cancer directly, but for the specific mechanisms we discussed, calming the electrical storm of epilepsy, dissociating from chronic pain, and sparing the use of deadly opioids, it can be authentic medicine in the right cases. With the rescheduling process now expedited, the shackles on research are finally breaking. We are about to learn more in the next 5 years than we did in the last 50. If you want to read the specific studies mentioned in this video, I have linked the citations below. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and always follow the evidence. Thanks for watching. Please like this channel so we can provide more videos like this. Also, we hope you will subscribe to this channel.